Butts.
Hello, and welcome to Destructoid's Gaming Butts. I'm your host, Laura, UK editor at Destructoid, and I'm here this week with Joe Parlock.
Hello.
How are you doing today, Joe? You alright?
Yeah, I'm doing very good, thank you very much.
Fantastic, and we have a special guest with us today. This is all very exciting. Mysterious special guest. Who are you, and why are you here, and what do you do?
Hello, I'm Dodger. I do YouTube and Twitch and stuff, and I'm here because I love butts and TF2. So those things together.
Those things together create Team Fortress 2. Brilliant puns.
I knew a pun was coming up, and I was like, what's it gonna be?
I outright refuse to do episodes of this show unless we can come up with a good pun, and usually it's like we've had Mass Effect. What ones have we had?
Oh, nice.
Master Chief for Halo. Generally, it's just can I
Street
ass in there somewhere.
Call of Booty, has that happened?
We've got Call of Booty is on the docket to do at some point. Call of Booty is on the list.
Good.
So yeah, today we're talking Team Fortress 2 butts with Dodger. Woo! So yeah, this is going to be fun. Does anyone on the show have a butt they'd particularly like to start with? Is anyone itching to talk about one butt in particular?
Can we not have itching and butt in the same sentence, please?
I'm going to put itching and butts together in every sentence, Joe. You can't
They really
stop
do go together so well, though.
They do. So who's got butts? Do we have butts? Should I pick a butt?
Well, I would say because I basically only play heavy. So
Heavy
if we could
seems
start with heavy.
Heavy seems like a pretty good place to start. Heavy's an interesting character. He's got a very he's very top heavy as a character, very spindly, short legs, and like looking at this sort of first image we've got where you've got the front, back, and side images of him, he's got a very rectangular butt. It kind of overhangs over his legs from that behind shot.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's kind of flat. There's no curve to it. I don't know quite what to make of it. I can't work out how much of a handful I get.
It looks like there's
that butt.
A little box that got kind of shoved into his pants. It doesn't look like a juicy booty, you know. It looks kind of like it might hurt your hand if you were to slap it. Yeah,
it looks like it's like a pair of bricks in his trousers. It doesn't look like I could get
that's
like
a good way to put it.
It doesn't look like I'd get a comfortable handful. It's more like trying to cup a pair of bricks or a rock wall.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's a butt of muscle rather than of fat, I think.
I would say that I think this is more for function rather than form, because he's very, very top heavy, like you said. So I think you need a bit of an ass to sort of support that.
Balance it all out,
Yeah, it's like the foundation of a well-built building.
It's strange because he's got such spindly legs. Like his butt isn't like a happy medium between the two. It's the tree trunk chest, tree trunk ass, and then just these like tiny piddly little legs kind of stuck into it.
Yeah, man, it's like he did the squats but didn't do anything else for leg day. Just did lots of squats, got that butt real firm, and then gave up and was like, all right.
I think he did too much squats. It's like that you got like an Adonis butt, and then you were like, no, it must be firmer. And that's how
there was that moment when it was really squishy and wonderful, and then he was like, no, I'm not into it.
It's like, I feel like he's maybe an anorexic just about his butt. It's like, no, there's still fat on this butt. Until this butt is nothing but bone, I won't be happy. But yeah, he's got a very strange butt. Like I try and look at him like as if he's maybe an athlete. Like he's not got like a typical like small runner's butt. He looks like he has a lot of like muscle and bulk and protein. It just it does just stop at the butt.
Yeah, he's like half a rugby player.
Yeah, and I don't understand. What, surely you need the legs to support that, but it's
not
just
if
like
you've
no.
got the butt.
Really? Will the butt make do and compensate for a lack of legs?
I don't know, man, because he's like the whole top half is huge, and then he's also got his gun, so he's like doubly top heavy.
Well, the only way I can picture that working is if he's just got incredible control and tone in his butt. Like, perhaps anytime there's any shift in his balance, where he doesn't have, like, the legs to ground him, he just has to kind of clench the butt in the right direction to get himself recentered. It is just total muscular control of his center of balance through the butt.
Exactly. You know those
Maybe-
belts which the like the great big weightlifters wear, which stop like all of their insides from coming out. It's like that. That's what his butt is.
You have any other thoughts on his butt, or will that do for heavy butt?
Well, the medic seems to like it.
I think
Yeah,
magic brick butt.
Yeah, tell us about the medic's love of this butt then, Joe.
The medic and the heavy are together forever, and nobody
OTP,
can prove me
always.
otherwise. Yeah, it's just, and Valve made it canon in like the last trailer thing. They totally made it canon, and I love it, and no one can fight me on that because it's true, and they love each other.
And particularly the
absolutely
medic.
agree.
I'm assuming the medic loves him for his butt. It's just
Well, that's the only bit you can see, because he's always behind him healing him, so he's got to have a nice butt to look at.
That is true. He's observing it literally always, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that is the thing. It's like you hear people talk about like, oh, if I make a character in a video game, I want it to be the gender that I'm attracted to, because if I'm going to have to look at that butt, I want it to be a butt that I like to look at. And I think that that's a little bit of what's going on here. Is just, this guy's got a good butt. If I were a medic, I could look at that butt all day.
That's what I do when I play medic. Sorry. One
Yeah,
has to be.
maybe that's why he's got that brick booty. Because at first he had a nice squish booty, and Medic was like, "No, I want that rock hard booty." And he was like, "All right."
It's like, well, I guess I better do what you say, otherwise you're not going to heal me. It's like, damn right.
Yeah.
You want healing? You're going to get the kind of booty that I want you to have.
Yep.
So from there, I'm thinking a good place to go from there might be the sniper. So let's have a look at sniper butts. Yeah, there's something weird about the butts in Team Fortress 2, where they're all slightly more rectangular than I imagined. Because, like, again, you look at the sniper, and look at just any of the images of him from behind, and where you'd expect, like, a curve in the middle between the cheeks, or, like, a rounding on the base of the cheeks, there's none of that. It's like, his is smaller. His is considerably smaller. He is more of the sort of, to me, he looks like the sprinter, the athlete, the person who does no weight training but does a lot of like endurance running and things like that. But he has just this very flat, very boxy again, tiny little itty bitty butt.
It's kind of
Yeah,
weird.
but like in the videos where he's dancing, it looks like he's got a little bubble booty hiding in there, though.
He does.
Yeah, well, my question is, like, why would you hide that kind of a bubble booty? Why?
True.
Surely
Fair.
You're a
Fact.
sniper. Surely if you had a great big ass, you would be a bigger target for other snipers.
Yeah, but equally, like, if you're going to have to lie down on the ground all day sniping, surely you want a bit of weight around your torso, and that's inevitably going to lead to a bit more of a butt, I would think.
Maybe it's because the spies are super into that booty, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to attract spies."
Oh no,
Tries to
not
hide it.
spies. Yeah,
Spies, man.
yeah, spies will be following that booty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But no, it's a very small butt. I'm a little bit underwhelmed just looking at it in static shots. Static shots. It's nothing special of a butt. It is just this little itty bitty thing. He doesn't make any attempts to hide the butt, but equally, like, he's not doing anything to flatter it. Like, he's not wearing tight trousers that would crop in any good way to show it off. He's just like, yeah, it's here, it's what it is.
his butt does frame the legs a lot better than the heavies, though. It doesn't just look like
I
they've stuck
agree.
two little sticks up it.
It's-
It's a full set altogether, and I can appreciate that.
It's a more proportionately sized butt. Like, I get less of an impression with this one that it would be like holding onto rock, and that even if it's a bit boxy, it's a bit small. I feel like at least with this, I'd be able to kind of dig my fingers in and hold on tight if I so wished.
I'm telling you, I feel like there's a hidden squish in there. There's some hidden squish going on underneath those pants.
Exactly, and you know, I fully intend to find out. Come over here, sniper. Get here so I can give that a bit of a squish. This is where this show gets a bit weird. I say things and then I'm like, oh, that's a thing I just said for work. Oh god. So having a look at some other ones, let's have a look at the engineer's butt.
I love the
think that's
engineer.
next on the list. The engineer is the first one that I've looked at and been like, yeah, this guy looks like he actually has what I would
booty.
consider a good butt. He's got a sizable booty. It looks nice and soft. It's proportional to his body size. Like, this is a good booty. Why do more of the men in this game not have this?
He's adorable. Like, I think the butt just sort of highlights how adorable the engineer is. Because it's there, it's a little bit squishy, you kind of want to cuddle it, just like the rest of him.
I was just gonna say, just like the rest of the engineer, he's a bit rounder than everybody else in the game, and I'm super cool with it.
Yeah, he's a little bit rounder, but not hugely, and he's round in all the right ways, because he's a worker. He's having to sort of do a lot of getting down on his knees and working with his arms and doing all sorts of manly, buildery things. And
right, yes.
Yeah, I'm going somewhere with this, trust me. So, he's got to have a bit more weight on him so that, he's not like getting pins and needles when he kneels down. And I imagine that helps with having a good booty. It's like, he's got to sit down and work out how do I fix this thing that I'm fixing as a manly man? He's going to sit down, and if it takes him a while to work out how to fix something, it's good that he's got a bit of padding back there.
Yeah, it's like a lot of his time he's sat on crates playing his little guitar thing while the sentries are going. So you need a little bit of padding to serenade the audience. And he does that, but he also hides it a little bit. So it's not like, oh, here's just like a Snorlax strapped to my waist. It's just, it's there, it works, it's nice when you look at it, but it's not there if you don't want it.
I think he's done one thing that really helps highlight how good his arse is, and it's the belt in the center.
Oh yeah.
Of the outfit, because he doesn't have an hourglass figure, but he's taken a clothing cue from people who do work with an hourglass outfit style, which is that by having a belt in the center, he is demonstrating the above the belt and the below the belt. This is the distinction between them, and here it's no, there is nothing. Tighten in a bit at the middle, take a look at this arse. And just because it pulls everything in a little bit at the middle, his arse looks that much better by comparison. It looks like it kind of it looks a bit less boxy. It kind of bumps out a bit more from him. It curves a bit as it comes out the belt. And, he's turned his box butt into something a little more human and relatable.
You know what else I love about the engineer? He looks so effortless. He's just, ready to hang. I'm not only do you have a good butt and look like you'd give great hugs, you're super chill,
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's the difference between the heavy and the engineer, is that the heavy looks like he's put in far too much effort into trying to sculpt the perfect butt, and as such, he's kind of ended up with this weird pair of bricks in his trousers that no one's quite into. But,
Except the medic.
Except the medic. But you look at the engineer, and the engineer is just, he hasn't tried too hard, and the fact that he's a little bit nonchalant, it just makes his butt look all the better, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got any other thoughts on his butt, or will that do us for engineer butts?
I'm gonna be very surprised if we see anything which beats the engineer's butt. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, same.
I think the engineer might be for me the pinnacle, and we can decide this when we get to the end. But I think for me, just a butt that is good and toned and doesn't have any flaws and that isn't trying too hard to be something it's not, for me that is everything I kind of want in a butt.
It's the dad bod of butts.
The what?
The dad bod.
What?
The dad bod.
It's the dad bod of butts. It's there. It doesn't try too hard.
Okay. Yeah, that is not a description of a butt I've ever heard before, but I'm happy to roll with it.
But we'll roll with it, yeah.
That's a thing.
Next up on our list of butts is one that we kind of touched on before, is we have the spy butt.
Oh.
And Joe's put a video into the chat for this. This is an interesting video. I'm going to have this up for people to look at when we do this, but he's a slightly mad man who likes the idea of people slapping his butt.
Yeah, he's into it.
Yeah, I look at him. He's not got much more of a butt than any of the other characters. He has about the same amount of butt on an objective level as the sniper does, I think. I think what makes his butt stand out for me is just the fact that he's very outgoing with his butt. He's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to hide it away. I am going to be so confident that my confidence will project itself into my butt.
Literally drawing attention to his butt.
Exactly. That is the only way to do it. And also, you know what I think is fantastic about this character? He's a spy. He's got to go unnoticed. What better way to distract from who you are than to get people obsessed and focused on your butt? Because it's very hard to look for differences and inconsistencies and why you're not who you're supposed to be when people are busy looking at your butt.
See,
that is very true.
I would argue that it's actually the opposite, where if he has to spend his entire life being completely incognito, maybe he's cultivated this perfect pair of buns as a sort of calling card. So those who get close enough to his butt, he would have to want them to get close enough to it to really appreciate it. He'd want to give them something to remember him by, but it can't be his face.
Oh, but that would also be like, oh man, he'd be, looking like somebody else. But if somebody knew that butt, they'd look down and be like, wait a minute.
It's you.
You're not the heavy? Yeah, they'd know. There's danger here. There's a lot of danger in this method.
That makes him... And it works in game as well, because the medic and the spy... It's like the whole point of the spy is like get the medic to heal him so you can then kill him and laugh. But then if the medic figures out because you're not shooting anything, it's actually because he's noticed that the butt isn't the heavy's butt. Done.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, like I have one other thought about this guy's butt, and it's kind of a bit of a sadder and more melancholy thought, which is that the spy is essentially, he's a character who he spends his entire life pretending to be someone else. He's never noticed for who he is. He's completely under the radar. He just passes through life unnoticed. My feelings about his butt, I think that his butt is the one place in his life that he feels he can have some personality, that maybe if my butt's nice enough, someone will see me for me and not for who I'm pretending to be. Maybe if my butt is perfect, someone will be like, that butt, I will remember that butt. You are the man with the butt. You're not the heavy. You are the man with the butt. Maybe once he'll be noticed for him.
Isn't this just Team Fortress Cinderella, where like someone comes along and pats his butt and he's like, I know that butt. I'm going to marry that butt.
I knew it was you.
Exactly.
to the butt that this slap fits.
Exactly.
His
such lore being created.
Yeah,
now.
His is not objectively the best butt, but I might put his above the engineer's butt just in terms of I kind of feel really sad, and I want to write I want to write spy butt fan fiction right now.
Oh, that's going to be written after this podcast, I'm sure.
We're going to go write this. That's fine. We'll put it up on Destructoid when we put the post up. It'll be great. So, if we're done with creating fan fiction lore for the spy's butt,
never be done. But
never. But I suppose we can move on.
And so, next up on the list is Demo Man, and Demo Man's an interesting character. Is if we look at this first image we've got here of the sort of all sides shot of him, he has the least butt of anyone.
Flattest booty, and his pants are kind of baggy too, so he's got the dump zone that he just doesn't really know what to do with,
It's so weird. It is like a perfect straight line, and I think the reason I find this character so interesting is if you look at him from the front, he's got this big sort of protective shield thing that covers up his crotch. Now, if he was self-conscious about having a lack of an arse, he'd put one of those behind as well. He'd have one covering his butt. You'd never know that he had a minimal butt. What does it say about him that he's covering up his junk, but he's not covering up his entirely obviously non-existent arse?
I mean,
he's like a teetotaler with arse. He doesn't arse, and he's proud of that, and he wants to show the world that he doesn't
so
arse,
far we've realized that truly all of the classes are quite obsessed with the booty. And maybe for him, it's a point of pride to say, you know what, I'm more than just my booty.
Possibly, because it's an interesting thing, because looking at the design of his armor, there's no reason he can't have one of these pieces in front of his butt. And that would be extra protection, what would be the reason not to have it? Unless he specifically wants people to see his butt, and it's like, this is my lack of a butt, it is what it is, I am what I am, and that, yeah, I can't help but think that the reason his butt isn't covered is because he knows it is what it is. He's not ashamed of that, and he doesn't want people talking about it behind his back. Maybe he doesn't want the rumors going around. It's like, no one can create rumors about my butt if they know that it's a nothing butt.
Right.
Yeah, he went through many long years of the spy trying to sneak into his room to see if he has a butt, and he just got fed up with it one day and was like, right, I'm going to go out there without my butt flap.
Yeah, there was,
oh
my gosh, somebody was blackmailing him.
Bored.
Somebody was like, I'll tell everyone you don't have a butt. And he was like, no! And then he reached that point, that high school point where he was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to show everybody my non-existent butt, and that way you'll have nothing on me. I'll own it. And from then on, oh no!
What if it was the other team's demo man who was blackmailing him? So he's like, you don't have a butt, because I don't have a butt,
in this beautiful truce if they both take off their butt plates and they're like, what? You know what?
Eye contact and take them off at the same time.
Yeah, maybe we don't have to blackmail each other. Maybe we can both find solace in the fact that neither of us has a butt, and that we have someone in each other that doesn't have a butt.
Representation, for all of the no butts out there.
And it's great that there's representation for all the no butts out there. It is also a shame that the only two no butts in this universe are forced to eternally fight against each other. The one person, it's the one person in their world that knows the pain of having no butt, and they're constantly pitted against each other, and that's a really sad tale. I feel very bad for them.
Yeah.
Oh. I used to not really care that much about the demo man, but now I think I love him.
That's all I really want to get out of this show, is that we walk away from this show and go, you know what? Now when I'm playing Team Fortress 2, I understand these characters just a little bit better, thanks to the magic of staring at their ass for slightly too long. Getting into their heads
via their butts.
Getting into their heads via their butts. So next up on our list of butts to talk about today, we've got the butt of the Scout.
Oh, sweet, precious Scout.
So, who wants to start on the Scout butt?
Too pure for this world.
I feel like bad talking about his butt, because he's just so fresh.
Don't want to upset him.
You don't want to criticize his butt because
I feel like he's saving his butt, for that special someone.
Is the butt not our place to judge?
I don't know what it is. I just feel like he's got this really jokery personality, and deep down he just he feels like kind of closed off. He wants to keep some things for himself. Now,
that all said, I totally respect that he wants to keep his butt to himself. However, this is an investigative journalism butt show.
Very true. Very true.
I have just linked down the bottom the image that I'm looking at. You know what?
It is rather amazing.
It's kind of a fantastic butt. Like, I looked at a couple of, I'll put up a couple now of, some of the pictures I was looking at first. He looked like he had a nothing butt. Then I looked at this picture and I was like, where did you hide that, man?
It's like a beach ball.
It really is. Look at that roundness, man.
It looks like the Kim Kardashian photo cover where she had the milk. What was it? The Breaking the Internet or whatever it was, that magazine cover she had with the huge butt. That's what this looks like. This is has he had work done?
No, I think that's au naturel, man. If he had work done, he would be pointing it out all the time.
That's what years of bonk cola does to you. It just it all goes straight to
If that's the case, I'd better be having more of that, because my God, that's an enviable butt. That is just, it is big and plump and round and bouncy and lightweight, and somehow, how have I never noticed this butt? Oh.
Bonk cola to grow the badonkadonk.
Mm-hmm.
But hire me for marketing.
Badonkadonk cola.
Badonkabonk.
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 So
we have just descended into making up.
We have, but this is a show about butts. What did you really expect? But no, sorry, I'm kind of lost for words now. I'm just staring at this butt. This butt is kind of inhuman. I didn't think we were going to top the engineer's butt, but I'm just looking at it being like, where is this butt normally?
I know.
Maybe
Perhaps
it's
it doesn't
padding.
have, the same sort of story that we were looking for with everyone else, but man, you cannot deny the facts. That is the booty.
That is the booty. Maybe it's because of the prancing he's doing in this shot. Maybe
it
he looks
counteract
like
the friction.
it looks like his legs and his body are both forward, and his butt's just kind of stuck backwards. Maybe that's why it's looking like such a great butt. Maybe if he folds himself over, this is like his butt is a bit of a nothing butt until he folds over and suddenly he just pops out the butt. It's like, oh, there it is.
Oh, that booty.
That booty.
Hello, my friend. We are out for today.
To see the wild scalp butt.
We're off to take the granary today, chum.
What has this devolved into? Oh, I thought this was a serious show.
Really?
I mean, I assumed it was when I came on. So.
Yeah, so that's probably about all we can say on that. We've still got a couple of butts to get through this episode. We've got, next up on the docket is the soldier's butt. Now, the soldier suffers from a problem that is epidemic to video games as a whole when it comes to discussing butts, and it's worse in some series than others. It's the fact that he has chosen clothes that hide his butt. He's wearing a big lengthy red coat that just covers his arse so we can't quite see it. Why do we think this is?
I mean, I think he's got, business butt. He's all business, and so is his butt.
His butt is just, I guess, the bare essentials. It functions. It is what it is. It's for him and his business use. It's not for anyone else. Why would anyone else need it? It's not helping them get around.
Saying that, on the picture where it's from all the different angles, I don't think on the picture from the side it's the belt which is causing the back of the shirt to fan out a little bit. I think that's where his butt is sort of supporting it a bit. So if you can go off that, he's got quite a big butt.
Oh my gosh, what if the soldier has the best butt and we can't see it?
Oh.
It's like what if the butt is underneath the helmet?
What are you on about here?
He's an abomination.
He just takes it off and there's no eyes, there's just a butt.
Is that why he's wearing the coat? Is it to give the illusion that he's covering a butt? But actually, you know what? There's no butt there. It's all misdirection. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to do some fan art of this for the video. That's why he's wearing the hat, because no one would think to look there for the butt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why you never see him without the helmet. It's because
There's
until
actually
the
just a
day
booty
he
over
finally
there.
gets over it. Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't just show the separate cheeks in a video game. That would be rude. So you need to cover it up with the helmet that perfectly simulates the shape of a banging booty.
I don't think I can add anything to this. I think that the visual of him with the butt on his head is that's a character I'm never going to see the same way again. Thanks, Joe.
That's the soldier for you.
That is the entirety of the soldier. He's got a butt on his head. Who's next on the list?
Pyro.
Pyro's. Sorry, Pyro's next on the list. Sorry, I should be taking this a lot more seriously. I'm sorry that I have let this devolve into a joke. This is a serious, educational, investigative report, and I shouldn't have let it devolve into silliness. So,
Look, Laura, if you're not prepared to talk about butts
in a serious,
businessy type manner that we need to,
I need to be able to do this like a scholar. I'm sorry that I've let you all down by getting amused at the thought of butts. I'm sorry.
God, you're such a schoolchild.
I know, someone mentions butts and I'm just butthead.
I'm ashamed.
So yeah, I'm looking at the second picture we have in our chat for the Pyro. The Pyro's he's a bit lumpy. Lumpy's the word that comes to mind when I look at him. He's
That sounds so mean.
it might be because of the outfit. We don't know.
It might be, but like you look at the engineer as a comparison, he's got a little extra weight on him, but it's cute and it's cuddly because it's because it's consistent across him, it makes him cuddly. I look at the Pyro, and he just looks really inconsistent. And, you know, it might be the suit, but if it's the suit, he needs to get that suit taken in because it's not doing him any favors. Because he's got a large amount of butt, but it looks a little bit misshapen, a little bit weirdly bobbly. The suit being a bit discolored on the butt doesn't help because it gives the impression that he's got like a bruised butt. It's
a skid mark.
It's just not the butt for me.
Yeah, although I do appreciate that he's got some banging thighs. Banging
really
thighs
does.
to go along with a potentially big booty.
He does,
but we just don't know.
He does have good thighs. Like, I think if he tried to put his legs together, he'd have a nice thigh gap going on. And looking at him from the front, his thighs could lead into a nice butt if they sort of kept a uniform shape from the thigh up to the torso. If it stayed consistent, that could be quite a nice butt. But this outfit's really not doing him any favors because all we can see is the outfit, and he just looks a bit like he's got bobbly extra skin, and I can't sell myself on it, and that's my problem because I might be missing out on a fantastic butt.
I think you might be because, like, yeah, maybe the suit's getting in the way, but I think because the problem we had with the Heavy was, again, it was just two little twiddly legs just rammed up in there. Whereas with this, it is another whole package. It's just you can't just slice the butt off and be like, this is a good butt. You have to take in the legs.
The thighs imply a consistency that would imply a good butt. And looking at it, I will say in his benefit, like, at least it's not the Heavy's butt that was like 2 square bricks. This at least looks like it has some curve and some like graspable edge to it, but I'm still not sold on it. It's like it's no scout butt, that's for sure.
Oh no.
I still believe deep in my heart that if Pyro were to take off the costume, you would be Adonis.
Maybe like a fireman.
Most gorgeous of all the TF2 classes.
I really hope
sure.
so. Like, I hope that one day in Team Fortress lore we get to see him take off the helmet and like the top of his suit, and he sort of ties the suit around his waist, and he just looks like a hot, oily fireman.
Yes, please.
And I really hope that's the case.
Oh.
I am holding out hope for hot, oily fireman Pyro, but until that's proven, I just can't put my faith in something that I have no proof of.
When I was researching, because I'm the guy who gets to find all the pictures.
This is the benefit of having underlings now. I can send you butt research.
Well, like I mind. When I was researching the Pyro, there were a lot of suggested mods on Steam Workshop, which is literally Adonis totally ripped Pyro shirtless mods. Good. And it's like, if they could get into the game, that would be lovely. Please, Valve.
Okay.
Because we need to discuss the bugs.
Here is my plan now. I'm going out to E3 in a couple of weeks. If I can find anyone from Valve there, that's my one question I'm asking. Is the Pyro hot? under that outfit, is he hot? Please tell me he's hot.
Well, I mean, it looks like it would be pretty hot.
Let's hope so.
The puns.
He's hot.
These puns are on fire.
So we've got a couple left to go. Next up,
it's almost over.
Oh, I know. What will we do without this in our lives? Next up on our topic list is the medic. The medic has a similar problem to some of our previous characters, where he's got a big fanning coat, and it makes it very difficult to tell what his arse is like.
Yeah.
The medic really packs it in at the front, so I'm very dubious as to what's going on at the back.
Yeah, it's hard to say whether or not, maybe just the way he walks, he like leads with his pelvis and would give the impression that there's no booty back there, but it's, it's hard to tell.
Do you reckon he's possibly pushing his pelvis forward so that he looks like he has both a bigger crotch and a smaller butt at once?
Perhaps that is the plan.
Yeah, because if you look at him from the side, he does seem to be like, if you look at his shoulders and his feet, he sort of leans forwards in the middle. His waist is definitely leant forwards.
He's doing a bit of a Michael Jackson stand.
A little bit of a Michael Jackson stand. That is interesting. The fact that his lab coat doesn't directly flow down his legs, it kind of fans out a little bit at the back. I think he's got a little bit of a butt. Nothing special, nothing terrible. There is some butt there, just a little bit. What we can tell from the front, his butt doesn't go very far out to either side. He's very sort of straight down. No messing about, no business. It's from the armpits to the feet. It's just dead line straight down. No bounce out for the butt.
We've got terminology now, like bounce out.
Yeah, these are official butt research terms,
There's no
Joe.
bounce out.
This is like Tony Hawk trick list.
Joe,
Here's the bounce out for 300 points.
Oh yeah!
Get on the know, Joe. These are the butt lingo you need to have in your butt-cabulary.
That sounds gross. I need to store it in me vocabulary.
Your vocabulary. No.
Vocab.
Almost.
Vocab butt Larry.
You are both awful at this.
We're great. Shut up.
Look, we're trying to just seat of our pants or seat of our butts, as it were.
Vocabulary.
What was that meant to be, Joe?
Cans.
Oh, cans.
Vocabulary?
That's no, Joe.
None of this is working. We need to move on. None of this is working.
Well, the only thing I want to touch on before we finish is we kind of spoke a little bit before about the idea that he was the one who potentially demanded that the heavy have the rock hard brick ass that he has.
Yeah, that's what he's into.
So my feelings is that he's possibly trying to compensate for his own lack of an ass. I've never had an ass. I've never had an Adonis ass. You are capable of such great feats. That's why he's demanding of. He has such a mediocre ass, I imagine, that's why he demands greatness from the heavy's ass.
Absolutely. And again, he's looking at it all the time. So why spend time on his own booty when he could be spending time on the booty he's looking at? You know?
I'm never going to see my booty. Your booty, on the other hand, now that's something we can work on.
He's adopted the heavy's booty, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
He's trying to raise it as his
surrogate own. Booty.
Yeah.
Oh God, surrogate booty.
But my theory is that maybe the medic likes the brick ass of the heavy, but obviously from that video that I sent with the slaps, the heavy also does find something rather appealing in the medic's ass. So there has to be something, or else they wouldn't bother.
Well, I imagine he's got a little bit of an arse. It's this little... This feels like a weird comparison to make, but it feels like the heavy potentially looks at the medic's arse a little bit like the way that you might be like, oh, that's such an adorable little bunny rabbit. It's like, oh, it's a
you want to squeeze the cheek a little bit.
It's such a cutie. I just wanna cuddle you.
I just want to cuddle your butt.
Yeah.
like the rest of you can go away.
Yeah, just let me lie down with my face next to your butt, just giving it a little stroke.
Once I've fallen asleep, you can leave. I just need this, just for a minute.
Yeah, don't say anything. Don't even look at me. Don't acknowledge me. I just want your butt.
I just imagine him drawing a little bunny rabbit face on it and just giving it a little petting.
Just little mood, like little
googly eyes,
tiny candles
on either cheek.
Little candles strewn about around the butt, like a few rose petals, sort of thing.
So next up is Saxon Hale's butt.
Oh, Saxon Hale has a tremendous butt.
Saxon Hale is like the middle-aged Adonis body adventurer butt. Like his is he's evenly distributed all of the the skill points in all of the facets of his butt. He just has yep, you have put points into everything, and it is good in all forms.
It is good all up in there.
There are no areas of complaint. It's not the greatest in any area, but it's consistently a fantastic arse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the good all-rounder. It's not particularly big. I can't imagine it being particularly soft, but it's just enough.
I'm looking at the
one that you would see it and you'd want to grab it, but you'd be a little intimidated.
Well, yeah. I'm just having a look at the second image that we have in our chat for him, and seeing him from behind, he has one thing going for him that no other character so far this evening has.
He has a crack.
He has a crack. He's wearing trousers that accentuate his butt. You can see the fold at the base of his butt. You can see the fold between the cheeks. You can actually see his butt. And that is something that, like, no other character emphasizes their butt in quite that same way. And I'm like, yeah, oh, that's nice.
What I would say is that I don't know about you, but I'm kind of getting an Uncanny Valley sort of vibe off it. It's like, it's almost good enough, but it just is slightly off, which kind of is like, ooh.
I think in any other series of media where we weren't like, where it didn't have the benefit of being the only butt with like the correct curves, I probably wouldn't give it nearly as much credit as I do.
That's fair. That's totally fair. I think given the landscape, we're looking at the whole chessboard right now, and we're saying, wow, that is quite the butt. But in comparison to other booties of the world, perhaps not, quite so fantastic. It's standing out.
Yeah, I think that's about sums up that butt. So I think we've got one more butt to try and squeeze in before the end of the show. So we're going to end on the only lady butt of the show, and I've been waiting for this. I've been excited about this. Miss Pauling. And we have one nice T-posing image of her.
There was literally no other pictures of her, which weren't just his holding a gun.
That is fine, because she has really wide ass.
Yeah.
Like
I could just hear the anime nosebleed coming from her.
Yeah. Like,
everywhere.
Here's the thing. She has perfectly, like, she's very dainty in all regards, except just at the way she just fans out and then comes back in at the legs, and you have no idea because of, like, the way that sort of pencil skirt comes back down and in towards the knees. It's very difficult to tell quite how far the butt goes down and how much of it is just the natural resting of it over the butt, like, continuing down.
But we do see a little bit of shadow in there, just enough where you can imagine that butt.
Yeah, like it goes down. There's that little bit of shadow when you look from behind. It's like, yep, that is a nice wide, very big rounded butt. Like I feel like that is the butt where I'm like, yep, you are dainty, but I could grab that ass and just hold on for days.
Mm-hmm,
I think
absolutely.
that fits her character, because it's like she's the manager. She's the one who sort of deals with all the mercenaries, so she's got to look professional, she's got to look managerial, but then she's also got to have that little bit of an edge, and that edge is the bottom of her ass.
Absolutely. She's dynamic.
Exactly.
in the skin of someone who's very reserved, but we know the truth.
We know the truth. We know. Us academics know. And with that, that's probably a good place to wrap up for today. So it's been fantastic to have you all listening. We should do self-promotion and things. So Dodger, if people have been listening to this and they want to hear you talk about more butts and whatever other things you do on the internet, where can they find you?
I talk about butts and all sorts of other body parts quite often on youtube.com/pressarttocontinue. I play dating sims and visual novels and things like that, so it comes up often.
Yeah.
So I would love it if you would come and follow me on there, and on social media stuff, I'm at Dexbonus, DEXBONUS, so feel free to come hang out. I basically always all caps, so that's your Jimmy Jam.
It's the only way to tweet.
Exactly.
It's the only way to tweet. So
it is the only way to tweet. And Joe, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Destructoid in the morning UK time, doing news things sometimes.
Mainly writing about hot video game boyfriends that you want to marry.
I haven't had enough of them recently. I'm disappointed.
Your remit is usually, is there a hot, buff, muscular guy in this video game? Okay, I'll write about it.
Yeah, but nothing's happened recently, and I'm so upset. I'm
totally
thinking of quitting.
Yeah,
there's been a bit of a drought, really.
A man meat drought.
yeah. It's just I might have to go vegetarian with this.
I will say, if you're complaining about a man meat drought, have you played Cobra Club yet?
I have played Cobra Club.
Are you aware of this game, Dodger?
No.
It is a game about you know the guy that made the game about sucking on the popsicle till you travel through another dimension? He's made a game about taking dick pics.
That's right! Oh my gosh, you linked me to that, and I haven't played it yet.
It's good, but it's taking a while to edit out, to censor the dicks for my footage on it. I did a video, and I'm like, there are too many dicks.
I always go for the standard. I take pictures of my cat's faces and put them on top of genitalia, and it usually works out pretty well.
My favorite was, there was one, I think I was playing, what's the game called?
Coming Out on Top.
And I put I put a speech bubble over one of the penises that just was a speech bubble that said, "Hi, I'm a penis." And that is still my favorite censoring of penis I've ever done.
I've had that game sitting on my desktop staring at me being like, do you want this? And I'm like, I do. I need to be in the right state for commitment.
Yeah. I can appreciate that. So I should probably self-promote myself.
I'm also on Twitter at Joe Parlock.
Okay, there you go.
By the way.
Just to wedge that in. As far as if you want to find me on the internet, you can find me on Twitter at Laura K. Buzz. That's where I am on pretty much everything. So it's Laura K. Buzz on Twitter, on YouTube, on iTunes. I've got the branding down, Laura K. Buzz. Other than that, you can find me every morning, Monday to Friday, on Destructoid doing the UK news stuff. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we will have another of these for you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye! Yay! TF2 butts! Butts.